So as requested, we're going to look at how to use the Desmos graphing calculator to graph the price equations and the demand equations for this question in the study plan. So you are going to follow the study plan process of elimination to arrive at these two equations right here. Once we have these two equations, you have to remember that P is the same as Y and that this Q is the same as X because they're independent and dependent variables. So I'm going to go over to the Desmos tab and I'm going to type in y equals, because we're going to substitute y there, 0.0001 x plus 0.03, and that'll be our first equation, and then y equals negative 0.002 x plus 1.68. So the challenge becomes these lines are very difficult to see because we have a window we're going to have to mess around with. So when we're trying to find the graphs of these lines, we have to zoom out considerably, okay? So we're looking at a considerable zoom out process, but we can still see the important points here. So once you have the 2 points on the Desmos line, you can find that slope that you're looking for, and you can adjust the window. So I'm going to kind of play with this window. And I really only want to see things that are positive here. And if you notice, as I'm zooming in closer, it's going to be a little bit harder to see those intersection line points that were coming up earlier. But you can start to see here how I've got the orange line and the blue line. So if I want to find the slope of these, to verify that with the study plan, I can take 2 points on the orange line, so this one and this one. I can use the slope formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find the slope. And I can take 2 points on the blue line and do the same process to find the slope. Once you have the slope, you can continue doing that process. Now, if I want to find the intersection, if you remember, all the numbers are pretty big, right? So as I'm moving this graph further and further, notice how much closer those lines are getting to where they almost look like they're the same line. So I can kind of keep playing around with this until I start to say, okay, where is the intersection actually happening at? And so when I do that, I can start to get a little bit closer to what's really happening here. So the Desmos calculator is not the best for the actual intersection function. It is the best to find 2 points on the graph with which you can find the slope. But for this question, it's not going to be as reliable to find the intersection of the two graphs. That's going to be best done by hand. So that's what you're doing when you're doing the substitution and elimination process. You're finding that intersection. This would simply be used at the end game to find the slope, like the study plan question is asking you as you keep going down. Let's see if I can find it. Here, so when you're seeing the slope and the 2 points, that's going to be the 2 points you're going to get with Desmos so that you can properly see it. And the intersection point is where you've already found the intersection between the two of them. Okay, so Desmos is finding the equation by the 2 points to find the positive slope here. And hopefully that helps you figure it out.